Listen to that. Nothing beats a vinyl.
Some technology just stands the test of time. Our technology not only brings the cool, it also brings the heat. At Mitsubishi Electric, we've been mastering and innovating heat pump technology since 1970. EcoDan, continued innovation in heating for home and business. Mitsubishi Electric, changes for the better.
Real Life, Real Crime is a true crime podcast brought to you by Woody Overton and executive producer Toby Tomplay in conjunction with iHeartRadio and Cloud 10 Media.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney prior to and during any questioning. You can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. You understand your rights?
Your crime spree was over, son. Yeah, you thought you had it licked, but Detective Overton made you sugar turn to shit. Get ready, you're gonna do time. Real life, real crime.
Warning. This episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast, may contain descriptions of acts of violence or that are of a sexual nature and should be for people that are 18 years or older. Heed my warning, people. I did not get the facts of these cases off of the internet or from some television show. The facts I'm retelling you were presented to me by the victims of the crimes or the perpetrators who committed the crimes against the victims. My description of the crime scenes are what I saw with my own two eyes. If you're gonna get offended, please turn this podcast off now. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Woody Overton. And today, we're doing another Ask Me Anything episode. And y'all seem to like these a lot. I've done a couple over the years, and it's time for another one before we kick off our new season next week of me going back and telling my original stories, right? So thank you to everyone who's sending your questions. I hope I got them all covered. So I'm just going to go raw and unscripted, and I guess you'll get a story or two out of it. Stay tuned at the end for some Crew Bash announcements, the Lopa raffle announcements, and some Real Life, Real Crime announcements. So let's get started. And the first question comes from Amanda Widghtkin, Wighttkin. And Amanda says, have any perps ever reached out to you in regards to you telling a story about them, like the trailer park lady? Well, Amanda, you hit the nail on the head on that one, sweetheart. But very right after I dropped the episode about Kathy Bernard and the trailer park and all that, I had a phone call, and it showed up as coming out of Livingston, and it was some girl that said she represented Kathy Bernard or whatever, and Kathy wanted to talk to me. And so I got on the phone with Kathy, and she was livid, right? And she started out with, I did not fart in Stan Carpenter's office. And, she said, I respected you so much before this, and we always got along and everything. She basically chewed my ass out. It is what it is. But I thought I was going to get her on an episode, and then I decided against it. But yeah, she's reached out to me. As far as other ones, that's the one Amanda sticks in my head the biggest, if you will. And I don't know. So, but you know what? I don't make any apologies for it. I'm just telling the stories as I remember them, or they come from public record. Okay, that's nothing I said. That's not a matter of public record, pretty much. The fart in Stan's office, I mean, I heard that, right? I was just repeating what I heard. But great question, Amanda. I appreciate you so much. All right. So, Feline Keller. Feline asked me, I've always wondered if you've ever encountered anything paranormal like while patrolling. Well, Feline, that really should be a story. But yes, I have. And you know what? I think I'm going to, I two things popped in my mind. And one of them, I need to tell these, Feline, in story format. And I may start out the next season with it because they're really interesting. But I mean, I definitely believe in the paranormal. I absolutely 1,000 believe in it. I've seen it. I still get goosebumps to this day for both of the incidents that I was a part of, if you will, or what I saw. But I tell you what, you better damn well believe that I believe that spirits exist, and 1,000% both good and bad. I believed my whole life, but I've actually seen some pretty freaky, undeniable stuff on 2 different cases. And you know what, Feline, I'm going to do that episode. You just gave me a genius idea, and I appreciate it. You can stay tuned on that one because it will be coming. All right? Thank you, sweetie. All right, so Wendy LeBlanc. And I'm just reading these as they come up, and then whatever pops in my head is what I'm going to say. Wendy asked, what was the funniest case you've ever worked on, if there was one? Wendy, there's so many, what I may think is funny, because other people probably don't, or vice versa or whatever. But anytime, oh Lord, anytime someone shit themselves in front of me, like literally shit themselves, I'll never forget driving down the interstate, and I saw a car. It was nighttime. I saw a car parked on the side of the road, and I pulled over, and the trunk was open on the car. And I didn't see anybody around. I pulled over, and I lit up a spotlight, and I called it in. I was in uniform patrol, and we had just gotten cameras in the car. And I don't think I had my microphone on, but the camera came on when I got out. And as I got out and come around to the trunk of the car, I see this lady come running up out of the woods, and she's just screaming bloody murder. I'm like, holy shit. I think maybe she's been raped or something, right? She's coming up, running up the embankment, and she had on white shorts. And I was like, what's wrong? I mean, she's screaming. She's saying, I gotta go so bad. And y'all probably won't think this is funny, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you could see me on camera. I was like, held my hand up because she was like running at me towards me aggressively. And then she stopped, and she just bent over, and she turned away from me, and she let loose. And I don't know what that poor lady had been eating, but it looked like burnt black motor oil spilling through her shorts and down her legs. And you could see me on camera. I'm going, oh. I mean, like backing up, backwards, and, whatever. Anyway, I stayed. She got in her car and changed, whatever. I had some paper towels in the trunk of my car. But stuff like that to me is funny after the fact. If you could have seen my face on the video when she started letting loose of her bowels, I guess you would call it. And I'm not picking on the lady, but that was funny. But I don't know, the guy who zipped his penis up in his zipper, that was pretty funny. Not funny for him, but he called 911, and they sent me out on the call, and I got there, and he's like standing there. I'm like, what's wrong, sir? You called 911, and it's a medical emergency, right? But they wanted me there. One of my awesome dispatchers, I'm sure, wanted me to have this visual treat. And he lifted up his shirt, and literally he had zipped his dick up in his zipper. And I was like, holy shit. And he was like, it had some blood on it too, but it wasn't a squirt or anything like that. But I was like, oh my God, man. And he said, I know, I zipped it up, and I said, does it hurt? He said, it hurts if I move. I said, well, fuck, don't move. The ambulance is on the way. But then I back up. We had a code system where I would call out a certain code on the radio, like if it's something, it was a secret code that we made up. And I would call it out to my partners that were on patrol, like, whatever the scale, the number was. I'm like, hey, this is a 10, right? They knew that it was some seriously funny shit or weird shit, and they needed to come see it. And so, of course, I called it in, and, they all came running, and all these cops are pulling up. And I think John Laudermill was one of them. And I told him what I had, and we went over, and the guy lifted his shirt again and showed his penis zipped up in the zipper. And they were like, ooh, damn, that hurts. And then we were walking away from him, trying not to laugh. And the ambulance was showing up, and he said, Deputy Overton, and he called me back over. He said, y'all going to be laughing about this for a long time, aren't you? And I said, be honest with you, sir, yes, we are. But that was one of the funniest, Wendy. I mean, there's 1,000 of those. But yeah, I'll never forget that one, I can promise you. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Amy Acosta. Amy says, did you ever feel your family was in danger from someone you arrested or had an encounter with wanting retaliation? Amy, I can tell you absolutely yes. I don't really worry about myself so much. I get threats almost daily, and I don't worry about myself so much, because I don't like to think that I'm going to let somebody catch me slipping, right? You come into a restaurant or wherever I'm at, that I'm going to be sitting in the back corner with my back against the wall, so I can see everybody that's coming and moving around me, right? That's just an old cop trick. And I never know. I mean, with all the people that I've arrested and put in jail and prison and everything like that, I mean, and like even on Courtney Coco's case, right? I never know who's coming after me, but I definitely, get threats and stuff all the time. I write most of those off. It's the people that don't threaten you that scare me a little bit. They don't scare me. They make me a little bit afraid, which makes me aware, which keeps me on my toes. But the only way they can fuck with me is to fuck with my family. I can tell you that, because they're not going to catch me slipping. But that's why, like at the live shows and stuff, you'll see I have security on my family. And that's the only reason why I don't worry about me. But thank you, Amy. I appreciate the question. All right, Dawn Clark. Dawn says, I only just found your podcast a few days ago. Totally loving it. And the one question that keeps popping into my mind is there anyone you've arrested at a young age who you felt is destined to be a career criminal, but who has astonished you by completely turning their self around to be a good citizen? Dawn, that is a freaking good question, okay? Now, you remember that, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, I told you I was a supervisor at Florida Parish's Juvenile Detention Center way back in the 90s. And this wasn't a hug-a-thug program, right? This was a serious jail. The only reason you got locked up there, or a lot of the teens that got locked up there were there for murder, rape, whatever. I mean, they were some badasses. And they were in their own cells and not allowed to talk. I mean, but it was just real thug life, right? But basically, as the years would go on, I've arrested a lot of them as adults. As I progressed in my law enforcement career and made detectives, I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many I arrested as they were adults, right? But there's one guy, and I'm not gonna say his name, that was in on a robbery charge as a juvenile, and I was like, and he was straight up thug. I mean, it was a white guy, a white teenager, and he was just motherfucking us, and we had to fight him all the time. And I just thought, he's going to make a good trustee somewhere one day, right? Because I just knew this guy was going to live a life of crime. But guess what? I was at a place to go buy some specialty meat, we'll say it like that. And I get up to the counter, and I'm ordering my steaks cut at 1 3/4 inches, right? And turned out the head butcher there sees me, and he comes up, he said, "Hey, Woody Overton." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You don't know me, remember me?" And I didn't. This guy was grown up now, had facial hair, the whole 9 yards, and he told me his name. I'm like, "What?" He said, "I just want to thank you for back in the day, not being too hard on him, I guess, or whatever he said. And I want you to know I did turn my life around, and I went to school or I've been trained, whatever, I don't know what you call it when you trained to be a butcher. But that's what he did. And he said, hey, I'm married, I got kids, and, I make a good living, and I just want you to know that I turned out all right. So, yeah, that one sticks in my head, Dawn, and I appreciate the question.
Real life, real crime.
Hey, y'all, we're always traveling out of town, Cindy and I remember she forgot her razor, and we're getting ready to go out to a fancy dinner and a show thing, and she cut her legs to shreds with the cheap one we had to get from the hotel. Well, then we found Athena Club. Athena Club's razor is designed with built-in skin guards to help prevent razor burn while being gentle on curves. The razor blade is surrounded by a water-activated serum with shea butter and hyaluronic acid, which is a holy grail for skincare. The best part is the razor kit is only $9 and comes with 2 blade heads and a magnetic hook for shower storage and your choice of handle color. And the razor has 6 color options, but they also have black and white razors, which I've never seen before from other brands. Cindy has the sky blue color, and she loves it. Plus, you'll never have to worry about running out of refills or being stuck with dull or overused razors. You can choose how often replacement blades are sent to you with free shipping. That means fresh, ready-to-use razors always arrive right when you need them. Also, you have to try their Cloud Shave Foam. Cindy hadn't used shaving cream in a long time, but she found it to be such a premium experience with the Cloud Shave Foam that it nourished her skin while she shaved. She loves it. Show your skin you care with the Athena Club Razor Kit. Sign up today and you'll get 20% off your first order. Just go to athenaclub.com and use promo code RLRC. That's ATHENACLUB.com with promo code RLRC for 20% off.
Real life, real crime.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Lindsay Schultz. Lindsay is a great lifer. Lindsay asks, where would you like to see yourself career-wise in 5 years? And you know what, Lindsay? That is such a great question. And she says, I'm hoping for another book. Thanks, Woody. I can't even grasp that concept. I mean, it's been 3 years since I started Real Life, Real Crime, and look where we are now. And I've got so many other opportunities and things that are coming my way that I can't even fathom. But if I had to sit down and say, in 5 years, of course, naturally, I would want to say I want to have the number one show in the world, right? I want the whole world to be lifers and love Real Life, Real Crime. Well, that's not totally going to happen because a lot of people don't like the fact that I'm raw and unscripted and do the maybe not politically correct and shit like that, right, Lindsay? But it is what it is. But I would like to continue to grow Real Life, Real Crime and the lifers. And, but now we have our own Real Life, Real Crime community app, and we're growing all the time. I've turned down numerous television shows in the past. We're probably going to do something. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Something on that real soon. So who knows? There's a lot of stuff that I think is going to happen in 5 years. I would like Real Life, Real Crime. Look, we signed with iHeartRadio and Cloud 10 Media. That was a huge step. The day before the Hurricane Ida destroyed our home, right? But that, having a big show production company behind us now and stuff, and they have presented me with a lot of different opportunities and things that I'm thinking about or whatever. But so I don't know, Lindsay. I just want to keep growing. I know I'm blessed. The Patreon members and convicts that have subscribed for all the bonus episodes and everything like that. That's just crazy how people have responded to the show, and good, bad, or indifferent, but just blessed. And I just want to see in 5 years, I would like to be, I guess, at the top of the game, Lindsay. But I really want to do is at some point be able to, help families that are hurting and stuff like that. But we'll see. Just maybe 5 years, I'd like to be retired. No, I love this too much. Hopefully in 5 years, we'll be doing the live shows more all over the country. COVID will be gone, and we'll just keep rocking it and doing what we do. Thanks, Lindsay, for always supporting us. I appreciate you. All right. Ruth Riddle says, have you ever worked an international case? All right, Ruth, I have apprehended several people that were wanted internationally. But as far as working in an international case, yes. And there's one that I started to work on. It was a counterfeiting case. And most people don't know that in the state of Louisiana, the state of Louisiana has the toughest counterfeit laws in the United States of America. So like these Chinese companies that are knocking off American products and stuff, and like Napa Auto Parts, they knocking it off with using their emblems and everything else and selling it at half price, but it's Chinese products and not. So I was working on an undercover case one time on an auto parts deal where we kept buying stuff from this company, acting like we were another company, and we're trying to get the big wig to fly in for like the big $500,000 deal and meet us in Louisiana. And what happened was, and it didn't happen, I'll explain that another day. What happened was when he came in, we were going to arrest him, and his bond would have been X amount, it would have been in the millions, because they knew he was going to flee the country first chance he got. But the total of the bond was the estimated value that he had taken this company for over the previous 2 years. So, yeah, I've worked on an international case, and that's the one that jumps to the forefront of my mind. But I ended up the day that the guy was supposed to be coming in, I ended up catching a murder case that I'm going to tell you all about one day. That morning I was on the way, and then I got the call on the murder case, and I ended up working it instead, and they sent somebody else. So, all right, thank you, Ruth. I appreciate it. All right, so Cassie, and I'm gonna say it wrong, Pouchet, I would say Pourciau, says, what advice would you give someone who would like to get into private investigation, since you're one of the best investigators, exclamation. Cassie, that's a really good question. I think it was the early 1990s. I actually got my private investigator's license. And back then, I started my own company, Overton Investigations. And back then, to tell you how long ago it was, there were no cell phones. I took out ads in the yellow pages. That's where you had to go look shit up, right? The internet wasn't readily available and all that. And certainly there was no social media or anything like that. But back then, when you got your license, you could do that, right? But what happened was I was so successful at it, not only because of the cases that I busted, but I didn't have all the overhead as a young man that these big PI firms did in Louisiana. Now, these big firms, most of their members were sitting on the PI board, right? But I did go in and I spent the money on advertising, and I was absolutely swamped. I had all cops that worked for me on their days off as investigators, and I was an entrepreneur, and I did really, really, really well at it until I got too involved in being a detective and had to let it go, right? I mean, in law enforcement, and had to let it go. But what they did, the state of Louisiana, after me, because I was taking all the big companies' cases, they changed the law. Now, if you get your private investigator license, you have to do an internship for however long it is. I think it's maybe a year or 2 years. I'm not sure. You have to do an internship for one of these big companies, and they pay them like minimum wage and work them to death, right? I mean, it's kind of a shame. But they changed that because of me, and I guess other people like me who were coming out and who were the real go-getters and didn't have the big fancy offices and all this, overhead, et cetera. And hell, I did good work, right? And so my advice on that is, if you're going to get your private investigator's license, you need to find someone that you could actually want to work for, and that's not going to, slave drive you, if you will, and just use you up and pay you nothing, right? You're gonna, and they throw them out in the field and don't teach them anything. Find someone who can mentor you and work for them, and then, you got to be a go-getter, right? If you're a go-getter and you have that drive and you want to succeed and you want to be the best, it can be a great and lucrative deal. And I mean, I did everything from insurance fraud cases to, even back then, I had a contract with Visa MasterCard. Anybody that opened a new business that applied for a credit card machine, I actually got this company, Visa MasterCard, hired me to go out and inspect these businesses to make sure they were real legitimate businesses, and I had to do a report on it to turn it back in and make sure they weren't just laundering dope money. So yeah, I mean it could be a very lucrative career, but your heart's really got to be into it. And let me tell you something: following people and surveillance and shit is not what it's cut out to be in the movies. All right, it's hard, it's a challenging career, but I mean, that's my advice. But thanks for the question, Cassie. I really appreciate you. Jeff Adams. Jeff Adams is always posting in the Real Life, Real Crime community app. Jeff, we love you. And he asked, are we going to hear more of your stories? Well, Jeff, you absolutely are. And after this episode, I'm going to go back to tell him my own stories again, right? I had no intentions of doing the Justice for Mary series, and I get contacted by families every day who have loved ones who have been murdered or hurt or whatever, or missing, and you know what? I wish I could work them all. And I had no intention of working Mary's until I saw the images of her beaten face, and I talked to the family members, and they said the detective said that she didn't have a mark on her and all this, and whatever. Go listen to the series. But Jeff, I love telling my stories. I really, really do. But if we can help a family like Courtney Coco's, or like we're trying to help Miss Barbara Blount's family, right? If I can do that, I don't think I'll ever stop doing it. Maybe it needs to be another show. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like those, but a lot of people are moved by it, right? But a lot of people just want to hear my stories, and I get that too. But yeah, Jeff, the lady that used to take care of me every day in the detective's office, pretty much ran the detective's office, Tina Stafford, now it's Pearson. She has since retired, and she is actually going to go and be pulling some of my old case files. And I think I told you all about this before. So Tina rocks, right? She's a beast, and she knows everything that happened up there for 20 plus years. So yeah, there's going to be plenty more stories coming, Jeff, and plenty more episodes of Real Life, Real Crime, Woody Overton being raw and unscripted. But again, my heart goes out to all the people that reach out to me. I'm sorry that I can't work your cases, but maybe that'll change in the future. But I know a lot of people don't come to Real Life, Real Crime to hear about justice for Courtney Coco, or justice for Miss Barbara, or justice for Mary, right? But those are important to me, and it's important to those families. And for the rest of you families out there that I haven't responded to, or I'll respond, and I can't do anything at the time, maybe I'll give you some advice on how to get your case file, or whatever. My heart goes out to you, and God bless you. So I guess, Jeff, it's one of those cases where it's kind of like having a migraine. Everybody knows what one is, but unless you're going through it, you really don't understand. And that's what these family members are doing. So, but stories are coming, brother. I appreciate you.
Real life, real crime.
Hey, y'all. You've heard me talk about my Warby Parker glasses before, but I'm going to tell you again because I love them. Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and a lofty goal to create boutique quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point. Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores, offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, eye exams, and contact lenses. Glasses start at $95, including the prescription lens. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. It ships for free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/RLRC. That's WARBYPARKER.com/RLRC. Now, y'all, let me tell you about it. I had to take the quiz, and they sent me the try-on at-home kit. Super convenient. I got to pick out 5 of the pairs that I thought fit my face the best, and then the styles of them. I loved it. Sent it back in, and they sent me my pairs. I tried them on. It's so simple and so easy. I'd never have to leave the comfort of my home, and I ended up picking the pair that I have on my face right now. They're blue, super well made. The lenses are excellent, as good as any I've ever had, and the price was fantastic. I love Warby Parker. Check them out. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/RLRC.
Real life, real crime.
All right, so Pamela Hetherington, HETHERINGTON. Pamela asked, was there a single case that made you waver on your career choice? Pamela, really good question. I can remember having some really dark days, Pamela, but as far as the horrible things that I've seen in stuff like that, horrible cases I've worked, as long as I got the juice, as long as I got the conviction and made the arrest, no matter how bad they were, that's what that's what fueled me, right? So those cases in themselves didn't make me waver in my career choice. But I can remember one day having to go to, I hadn't thought about this in years, to go to a dead baby case. And most people maybe don't know this, but anytime there was a SIDS case, that's sudden infant death syndrome case, we had to go out and work them. We had to treat it like a homicide until we could prove that it wasn't. And that's the full deal, y'all. That's the full deal all the way through the autopsy, et cetera. And when the pathologist comes back and says, look, can't explain it, right? Basically write it off to SIDS. But there was this one time I had to go to the hospital because the parents were there they brought the baby in. The baby, they found it not breathing, basically dead in the crib, and they rushed it to the hospital, and we had to go in and take the baby from the parents to establish the chain of custody. The baby was deceased, obviously, and that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And it's taking the baby from the parents. And I didn't know. We had to treat each one of them as a homicide, and I figured that, right? But to have to take the baby from the parents' arms and they didn't want to let it go, that's probably one of the days I wanted to quit. And then going to that autopsy and then going back and having to sit in front of his family who had the real red ass with me, and I get it. But, and tell them, you know what, it's unexplained. Basically, that SIDS, whatever they called it back then. But I hated myself that day. I really did. Anyway, that was one day I almost quit, or I wish I'd have gone on to law school. But anyway, thanks for the question, Pamela. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Connie Gibson says, and Connie's been around forever, y'all. And all these questions I'm reading came from the Real Life, Real Crime Community app. Connie Gibson asks, is there any update on Barbara Blount? All right, I want to take a minute and talk about this, because this case, and I know it doesn't seem like it, and it'll be 2 years, maybe in another 2 months that I got the case, and that Sheriff Jason Ard asked me to come in and help work it with Real Life, Real Crime and the fans. And, Connie, it's just like that day when Miss Barbara went missing, and then the big storms come in and all the evidence is washed away, literally. And everything's just, it was like everything that happened in Miss Barbara, and I'm calling it a murder because I know it was, but everything that happened in Miss Barbara's case worked against law enforcement from day one. It's almost like an evil spirit is trying to block things, right? It's been the same thing since we had it, the case. When we were slamming, we were rolling, and I'm talking about Sheriff Ard had a copy of the file and, hitting me up at 2:00 in the morning and saying, did you read this? And I'm like, yep, I read that. And we had some traction. And then guess what happened? The COVID literally happened almost overnight, it seemed like. And it shut us down. We were having meetings twice a week on Barbara Blount's case. And so COVID shut everything down. The whole country, the whole world, really, right? And so that was one. And then we finally start coming out of COVID and get going again. And then, I don't remember what happened next. But it's been like a perfect storm. Every time we get back into, I want you to know it's being worked, but every time we get back into it, another something happens, and it doesn't put the brakes on it. We'll never put the brakes on it. But it's like a perfect storm against us trying to, we'll say, prove who murdered Barbara Blount, okay? And not going to stop. Miss Barbara's family, her sister and them, Miss Sarah, I'm in contact with them. She asks all the time, and they're praying for me and stuff. And I love them, and I want to get justice for them. I really, really do. I want to get justice for this family. I want to bring Miss Barbara home so she can have a proper burial, and it means a lot. So y'all, I still get tips, believe it or not. Every week I get somebody sends me tips, right? And whether I can work them or I put them filed away for a day that I'm going to work it, or if it's a tip that I've received 100 times before, right? It doesn't matter. Y'all keep sending these tips in, because one of them is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back and going to give me the juice that we need to get a conviction. Now, you got to remember at this point, the prosecution's only going to get one shot when it comes time. If it comes time that murderers are arrested, we're only going to get one shot to prove it.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser-cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdowns scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gifts to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
In the court of law. And that's where you have to err on the side of the caution, because this can sound really harsh. Miss Barbara's not going to get any more dead. Right? She's been dead. She's been murdered a long time. But so time, as hard as it is for the family, time is really on our side, even though we have all these things hindering us. Boom, 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 one after another. And in the most recent one, my home being destroyed and stuff like that. And but now, whatever. Doesn't matter. The update is this. Y'all keep calling in your tips. I think we'll probably do something soon on bringing it before her, I call it Murderversary, to bring it back into the public's eyes. You can never have too many tips. When I'm never going to give up on this case. The sheriff's office is definitely not giving up on the case. And I'm telling you that it's not over. Okay, but I can't give you any more than that on where we're actually working on. Okay, so anyway, Shelila Hall, Shellea Hall, who's again an app. She's awesome. Been an awesome life forever. I probably butchered your first name, but I love you. She says, "Do you have a case that haunts you?" I have 2, and they're very, very well-known cases, and I'm going to cover them at some point. Then let me tell you why they haunt me, all right? Besides Miss Barbara Blount, that haunts the shit out of me, but I'm working it, right? That's the difference on that one. But my actual cases, I am not going to say the names. The people out there that know who they are. I made arrest in both of these cases. 2 separate cases, murder cases. I got confessions in both of these cases, and they were never prosecuted. Okay? Arrests and confessions, they were never prosecuted. I'm not going to go into why, but I'm going to cover them at some point, and we are going to get justice for those people, those families and you know who you are. I know y'all listen to the show all the time, right? And going to get justice for them. Y'all ask about these cases. I just don't ever respond when you ask about them. Lifers ask about these cases. What about this case, Woody? And I'm like, I don't say anything because I don't want to do anything to mess it up. Because when I turn the gun sight back on those bitches, they're going back to jail. But I can't say why. I know why, but I can't say why, and I don't want to say the cases because I don't want those people to know that one day I'm still going to be coming back for them, even though I'm not in law enforcement anymore, right? So I'm going to hammer their ass, and you family members don't give up. Those two cases haunt me, Sheila, because there are murderers walking around that have been arrested, that have confessed, and I guess they think they got away with it, but they didn't. So we got to wait for a changing of the guard, if you will, to proceed on those cases. And that's what's holding it up, to be honest with you. But it's not over, and you're going to hear about it on Real Life, Real Crime when I kick it off, I can promise you. So then I have Nathan Ponthier. Now, Nathan is an awesome lifer. He's the former of the Moos, or the Cows, I should say, and just super guy, and dedicated his life to public service and being an EMT, etc. Nathan, we love you. Every time I pass through Marksville and I see an Acadian ambulance, I think about you. But he said, would you ever consider running for an elected seat like sheriff of a parish? Okay. All right. So, Nathan, I'm going to answer your question. Would I ever consider running for an elected seat like sheriff of a parish? Nathan, I thought about it one time many years ago when I was still with the Louisiana State Police, and there was going to be a changing of the guard. It wasn't in Livingston. It was where my parents are from, et cetera. But long story short, I did not do it, and they finally got a changing of the guard anyway. But as of now, no, I couldn't do it, Nathan. It's not even a financial thing. Let me tell you something. You don't know how much work and pressure those people are under. The sheriffs, I mean, you are responsible. You're the highest ranking law enforcement professional in that parish, and you're responsible for everybody in that parish. And then what the real problem kicks in is the culture of cop haters nowadays, right? And then you're responsible for all your people and the actions that they do and shit. Man, Nathan, I don't know, bro. I'm not politically enough correct for that shit, I can promise you, because I'd be ripping heads off and shitting down people's necks, and the good and bad. I mean, cops and the bad guys and district attorneys and no, bro. I'm never going to touch that. All right, doesn't mean that I haven't thought about it, but certainly I've been approached about it, and especially in recent years. But no, no. But love you, bro. Thanks for asking the question, and hopefully your wedding went well. I don't know if it's already been yet or not, but congratulations and to you and your bride. So, all right. And Francis Callahan adds to Nathan Ponthier's question, says, I think Woody would be great. Francis, I appreciate that, sweetheart. And I think I would probably be pretty horrible at it because I'm not a politician, that's for sure. But you rock. Thank you. And Joshua Ebarb, E-B-A-R-B. Joshua, I would like to know what nationality or background that name comes from. I kind of have a fixation on names, right? Says Nathan Ponthier. Now, that's a good question. I was thinking myself, but being selfish, I wouldn't want him to, because he couldn't be as honest and tell everything like it is. Some of his best qualities is his, hold on, I gotta scroll down, his passion and honesty. Plus, he can truly help others. No limited boundaries. Just my 2 cents. But good question. Well, Joshua E. Barb, I really appreciate that, dude. That means a lot to me. And I think God has me where he wants me to. You know, I can tell a great story, right? But if we can help some people along the way, and y'all there's so many people out there that are hurting, and I mean, I wish I could help them all, but I try to at least steer them in the right direction. But we have helped some, and you probably never hear about it, but I don't do it for that reason. But anyway, Joshua, I appreciate that comment, and you're right. I'm not bound by the law enforcement guidelines, if you will, like I used to be. So I am free. So pretty priceless. All right, well, I'm gonna end that there, y'all. And that all those questions are in the Real Life, Real Crime Community app. Look, go download it for free from the App Store. It has so much more than what we have on the crew page. The crew page is great, right? Love it. Almost 37,000 members or something like that. But we started the app because Facebook keeps censoring my shit, or even not even just mine. We got lifers, great people that will put something there. Like Karen Ortolando the other day puts a post about if somebody's talking during Yellowstone, I'm gonna choke slam them or something like that. Shit, they put her in Facebook jail for that. She was a joke, right? Hell, I love it. Karen, Cindy, and I've watched every episode of Yellowstone. But they put her in Facebook jail for it. I mean, I don't like to be censored. I mean, some people need to be censored, obviously. The only censoring done in the Real Life, Real Crime Community app is by me. And you have to be a real dick for me to cut you out. But anyway, so we have like everything that's on the crew page, but there's so much more. There's true crime facts, there's games, there's forums, different forums where people can talk about that. There's like the spot for the Lanyap page where people can post anything, right? But there's so much stuff. I mean, if you just go look at the app, I think you'll be amazed how far it's come. It's awesome. All our episodes are there. I'm going there first now to respond to people before I go to the crew page. Not that I don't love the crew page, because I do, but I'm trying to... We're trying to get away from this censorship and all the shit that's come down in the last 3 years. But anyway, on top of that, it's just better. The Real Life, Real Crime Community app is the shit. And if you're a patron member, thank you so much for your support. A lot of the patron members have swapped over to what we call convicts in the app. That's where the subscription, you get, all the bonus episodes and, certain different perks at different levels. But if you want to stay a Patreon member, I get that, and I appreciate your support, but it's really easy to swap over to be a convict. And all the convicts are the people that they're just Patreon members. I have an affectionate term for them. I call them convicts, right? So, but anyway, y'all check it out and if you get a chance. And also, if you get a chance, hit subscribe wherever you listen to Real Life, Real Crime, and leave us a review if you're so inclined. Now, I'm going to be doing another LOPA episode, Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. We've got over $16,000 worth of prizes donated for this raffle that I'm drawing on stage live at the 3rd Annual Crew Bash at the Texas Club, February 5th. General admission tickets, there are still some left, but I promise you they're going to sell out. And it's my 52nd birthday. We're going to be celebrating our 3rd birthday of Real Life, Real Crime, the awards we won this year, and all the good stuff. It was a great year. So, minus the things like losing your home and stuff like that in a hurricane. But overall, we've had a great year, and we're going to throw down at the 3rd Annual Crew Bash. But the LOPA, we raised $8,000 last year for Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency, and y'all, it's a nonprofit, and all they do is save lives, right? And do studies and stuff like that. So it's a nonprofit. I mean, I want to back up my heroes, right? So last year we did a raffle. We raised $8,000. This year, I want to double it bad. But look, the prizes this year are amazing. Guided turkey hunt in Wisconsin with McLaurin Whitetail Adventures. Guided whitetail hunt in Wisconsin with McLaurin whitetail adventures. And I'm going up there and I'm going to cook for the winners and hunt with them if they want me to. God, it's so much, y'all, that I'm going to do the episode again, but I'm going to have the people that donate the prizes. And we have everything from Dr. Coster in Kansas donating his already sold out ticket for a basketball game between Kansas and Texas and donating his parking spot, right? To Jim Chapman and local leaders donating a full podcast and donating another Yeti. Captain Calvin Duvall donating another charter trip, and he's even putting together a custom-built fishing rod that's going to be auctioned off separately on that Friday night when we're having the private event at the Basin, and there's still a couple tickets left for that. Y'all go to eventbrite.com. February 4th and 5th, I'm going February 4th. I'm going to be all night lifers at the Basin. Saturday, I'm going to be the world famous Texas Club. I'm going to do the Never Before live interactive crowd podcast, adult only. And then we're going to do the drawing for LOPA. And I'll hope we raise a ton of money. And then Chase Tyler Band, 2-time Louisiana Music Country Hall of Fame inductee, is going to take the stage after me. And I'm going to go upstairs and sign autographs until he's done. And then I'm going down and I'm going to sing the last song of the night. So hope to see y'all there. But we go, LOPA is so important. Y'all, it's $15 for one ticket, or you can get 10 tickets for $100. And the QR code should be everywhere by now, but we're going to do another episode on it and push it out. But I don't want to leave anybody out. It's Tiffany Sicard, Home Key Mortgage, donated another Yeti ice chest, right? Just for him. That's Krista Falgu. That's my stylist. That's where I go and have my hair, my beard, and everything done. They donated a Magellan, they call it the ice box, but an ice chest and a Yeti tumbler and a $60 gift certificate to go in and have yourself shaved or haircut, whatever you want to have done. Brian Moore, Grainworks, and he makes all this custom hand-built wood stuff out of Alabama. Another great lifer. He donated a charcuterie board. It's beautiful. God, Adele Spa, Adele Lane Spa donated a $500 gift certificate. I don't have it in front of me. There's so many of them. The store in Livingston, or maybe I have it right here. Yeah, that's right. Here we go. Southern Magnolia Boutique is donated a $200 gift certificate to the store, and then another $200 gift basket of Sweet Grace products by Bridgewater Candle Company. And then Susan Carey is donating a 58 by 68 illumination quilt with China blue lanterns, and that alone is valued at $175. Y'all, it's just too many. It's so many to list, but it's like $16,000 in prizes. So, and you can have a shot at it for $15, and all you got to do is so easy. Everything's online. You scan the QR code, make your purchase of the ticket. It goes into the system. You don't have to wait on, like you did last year to get your ticket receipts mailed to you and all that. It's done, and it's awesome. Anyway, I think it's awesome. But if you come into the Crew Bash, you coming in from out of town, we got a bunch of lifers. There might not even be any rooms left, but the Capitol Center Hilton, y'all, the code is RLRC1. The regular room rate was $221 a night. Now it's over $300 a night, but we have rooms reserved, and you get it for $121 a night when you use RLRC1, the code. And that is good from Thursday night through Monday morning. So Thursday night through Sunday night. So if you're coming in, man, yeah, you ought to use that. That's where I'm going to be. I'll be there every night. And if you came in last year, we hung out there afterwards, after the party, if you will, and drank a bunch of beer. But anyway, I love y'all. Patron member convicts, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All lifers, I love you. If you can't be a patron member or a convict, I love you just as much. Thank y'all for everything that you do. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I'm on Instagram at Real Life Real Crime or at Overton Woody. Check it out. I post a lot of funny stuff on there. And anyway, that's it. If you are a lifer from Chicago, and you want to sign up to be an organ donor, go to lopa.org. Sign up. Doesn't take but a minute. Be a hero. Give the gift of life. And I'm Woody Overton, your host of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. And until next time or ever, don't let me catch you down on Murder Bayou. Peace.
Get ready, you're gonna do time. Real life, real crime.
Real Life, Real Crime is a true crime podcast brought to you by Woody Overton and executive producer Toby Tomplay in conjunction with iHeartRadio and Cloud 10 Media.